As smartphones become more and more popular, will the upcoming iPhone be a category killer, or is there really room for both? Mary Thompson joins us with more. It's a question that a lot of people are asking.
A lot of people. It'll be interesting to watch, Sue. You know, analysts say the iPhone could prove to be a spoiler at first, but ultimately a savior for the smartphone industry. Those with them can't live without them.
No, it's really addictive. Really, really addictive.
Still, Apple's new iPhone is seen tempting even hardened BlackBerry junkies, while leaving more consumers in need of a smartphone fix.
I think in the longer term, I think that the iPhone actually will serve as a bit of a category catalyst.
Initially, analysts see the iPhone hurting sales of other high-priced, multifunction smartphones like Palm's Trio, then spurring overall demand as rivals like Samsung respond with their own answers to iPhone's consumer-friendly touch technology and wide screen.
I think others will emulate that, and as they do, that will make the smartphone category more appealing to a broader range of customers.
That should translate into faster growth in the fastest-growing segment of the U.S. mobile market. IDC sees total handset shipments growing 5.5% next year, while forecasting growth in smartphone shipments of 65% to 21 million units, a number that excludes the 10 million iPhones Apple says it will sell worldwide. With 10 million in global sales next year, the iPhone captures 7% of the worldwide market, forecast for phones offering email, web browsing, and music and video downloading. It's a market now dominated by Sony Ericsson and Nokia's N series. While at home, Research in Motion leads the pack, catering to corporate clients with its BlackBerry devices.
They're not music-centric, media-centric in the way that Apple is. And on the other hand, they're more email-centric in the way that the iPhone isn't.
And that, analysts say, protects BlackBerry until Apple finds a way to keep corporate email secure. Security can be fleeting in the mobile market, with new phones and features constantly competing for consumers' attention. iPhone's in the spotlight now, though with a hefty price tag of $499 to $599, it may play to a limited audience, leaving room for companies quick to follow Apple's lead in technology, willing to price their phones for consumers in the cheap seats. Some companies aren't waiting to react to the iPhone. LG already has a Protophone that uses touchscreen technology similar to Apple's phone. And while iPhone is expected to make a splashy debut, analysts say the real battle will take place when Apple and others come out with their follow-up phones to the original iPhone. They expect prices to drop and then the features to be refined a little.
And that's when the battle really begins.
Exactly.
Mary, thank you very much. Let's talk more about that, because with all the hoopla surrounding the iPhone, we asked our friends over at PC Magazine to round up a list of software features that can bring the iPhone's unique features like iTunes and podcasts, for instance, to your existing phone. Sascha Segan is back with us again to show us how to boost any smartphone's IQ. Nice to have you here, Sascha. Welcome back.
It's good to be here. Thanks a lot.
First of all, are you going to get an iPhone or not?
Well, I'm obviously have one to review, but personally, I don't think I'm going to get one for myself.
Okay, why?
Well, I'm with Verizon, and at the end of the day, it's all about call quality and coverage for millions of Americans. People won't necessarily be willing to switch carriers just for a device.
Okay, well, fair enough. We're asking, you know, we're not singling you out. We're asking a lot of people that are in your particular space whether or not they're going to go for the iPhone at the beginning. It's always fascinating for us to hear. But if you have an existing phone, you've rounded up a few things that you could add to that phone that would make it more iPhone-like. And one of the first things that you came up with was Google Maps.
Yes, well, Google Maps is one of the applications that Steve Jobs was showing off on the iPhone. And what people may not know is that it works on all sorts of phones, dozens of different phones. It's a free download from Google, and it's just as enjoyable on many of these phones as on the iPhone.
Okay. Next on the list is visual voicemail.
Steve Jobs has talked a lot about visual voicemail, the ability to step through your voicemails on your screen. Well, there's a great product called SimulSays for the BlackBerry, which does pretty much the same thing. There's another product called SimulScribe from the same folks, which actually transcribes your voicemail into text so that you can read it rather than listening to it.
And this is something that the iPhone cannot do at this point, correct?
No, though you could get SimulScribe service for your iPhone to enhance it further.
Okay, so okay, that's a way to do it. Then iTunes.
Well, there are a bunch of different music solutions on phones. One I think is interesting is something called Nutsy from a company called Melodio. That actually streams segments of your iTunes playlist to you as internet radio stations on a dozen different phones.
All right. Now, mobilecast.com is also down there. How are those two different? And which one do you like better?
Mobilecast is from the same company, Melodio, and they do podcasting. That application is for downloading podcasts to your phone, another iTunes feature.
Thank you very much, Sascha. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Always good to talk to you.
And by the way, the Wall Street Journal's Walt Mossberg has spent the last 2 weeks testing the iPhone. Does it live up to the hype? There's a look at some of the stocks of some of the smartphones. Walt's review is coming up at about 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Power Lunch. Don't miss us. Thank you again, Sascha. Let's go over to the breaking news desk because there has